Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down the professional process of setting goals and turn it into a practical guide that really anyone can use to make a change.
You know that feeling, right? When you're stuck, you know you want something different. You want to get to point B, but the how just feels, it feels overwhelming, totally abstract. We've all been there, but there's actually a structured way to move past it. Thinking of a goal as a roadmap is a total game changer. It transforms that vague, I wish, into a real journey. It gives you a clear destination, a tangible point B that you can actually work towards.
Okay, so how do we create that map? Well, the first step is often the hardest one. It's all about translating that general concern, that worry you have in the back of your mind, into a concrete, actionable objective. Let's see how that works in the real world.
So let me introduce you to Mrs. Hirth. She's 87 years old, a client at a community center for seniors. She lives all by herself, and she's starting to feel unsafe. But, and this is a big but, she is fiercely independent, and she absolutely values that independence.
And right there, that's the core conflict. It's a powerful, very real feeling, but you know what? It's not a goal. Not yet. This is point A on our map. It's the raw material, the reason we even need to start this journey in the first place.
And this is where the magic happens. Look at this transformation. A social worker helped Mrs. Hirth reframe her worry. So instead of just focusing on the problem, I'm unsafe, the goal becomes this positive, tangible outcome. It's not just about avoiding danger anymore. It's about actively building a future that has room for both safety and independence.
So you see, the crucial point here is that this new, clear goal is doing a bunch of jobs all at once. It's not just a destination. It's a compass that gives everyone direction, it's a ruler so you can measure progress, and it's a guide that helps you pick the right strategies to actually get there.
Now, you might think that a professional just kind of swoops in and tells you what to do, right? But in effective goal setting, that's not how it works at all. It's really a partnership between two very different kinds of experts.
And this just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the practitioner. They bring the tools, the theories, the knowledge of what resources are out there. But on the other side, and this is so important, you have the client. They are the ultimate authority, the expert on their own life, their values, their story. And for this to work, for them to feel empowered, their participation is absolutely essential.
This is a core principle for a reason. It sounds simple, but it is everything. Start where the client is. It just means their perspective, their definition of the problem, and their story. That's the only valid starting point. You can't draw a map for someone if you don't know where they're standing in the first place, right?
And this whole idea of partnership gets even more important because, let's be real, goals don't exist in a bubble. They're usually all tangled up in complicated family dynamics and deeply held values, which don't always line up.
So let's take a look at Trisha. Her situation is, well, it's urgent. Her immediate goal is painfully simple. Find a safe place to live. But to get there, she has to navigate this huge values conflict with the very people she needs for support.
And this is the moment where things could have gone completely off the rails. This is the challenge Trisha's mother puts to the social worker, Val. It's a question just loaded with emotion, with judgment, with pain. It's a conversational landmine.
So what did Val do? Did he argue? Get defensive? Nope. He navigated it. First, he acknowledged the mother's feelings and her values. He validated her perspective. Then, he gently but firmly brought the conversation back to the one thing everyone could agree on, the practical, immediate priority of Trisha's safety and housing. He became a neutral bridge.
And this is so critical, not just for professionals, but for anyone who's trying to help someone else. You have to be self-aware. Val had to check his own personal feelings at the door and make sure his own values didn't become a roadblock for Trisha. His job was to help her, not to judge her family.
Okay, so we have our destination. We've navigated some really tricky terrain with values and family stuff. The final piece of the puzzle is to make sure the goal itself is well built, that it's something you can actually aim for. This is really where the rubber meets the road. A vague goal like, I want to be healthier, is almost impossible to act on. But a goal like Trisha's, find a safe and stable place to live by the end of the month, now that is specific. It gives you a clear benchmark for success. You know exactly what you're working toward.
And that clarity is what powers the entire process. A target gives you something to actually aim at. It makes your progress visible, which then motivates you to take the next step and the next until you've actually finished the journey. So when you boil it all down, the principles we've looked at here, turning a worry into a clear objective, building a true partnership, navigating values, and making the goal something you can measure, these aren't just for social workers. These are universal tools that any of us can use in our own lives.
So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have the tools, what's the first step on your roadmap? What's one worry that you could start turning into a real objective? What's one point A you can define right now to start building your own clear path to point B?